Did you know that in 2024, a whopping 204 million people visited zoos? Due to this huge number of visitors, it's clear that zoos are a large part of modern society. But there is a passionate debate occurring over the ethics of zoos. Many people argue against zoos and keeping animals in captivity. However, zoos matter a lot for three key reasons. My purpose in this speech is to argue why zoos are so important. Zoos are essential because they 1. Educate the public, 2. Support important scientific research, and 3. Help conserve many at-risk animals from extinction. As someone who cares a lot about animal conservation and plans to study it in the future, I think this topic is especially relevant. Many argue against zoos due to perceived mental health issues with animals in captivity. However, I will refute this in my speech to show why these arguments are unsupported. First, I will talk about why zoos are an important educational tool. An article by Kansas State University asserts that zoos offer opportunities to educate visitors about habitat conservation through programs and activities. Zoos serve as a resource for visitors to learn about habitat conservation. They can also serve to educate people about other things, such as how different species behave and interact with their environment. This reveals details to visitors that they could not glean from a book or article. But why is learning about animals and their habitat even important? According to conservation biology, communicating the topic of conservation to the public and encouraging pro-environmental behaviors can mitigate the loss of biodiversity. Education about animals and conservation is a successful way to help slow down biodiversity loss, which is one of the hugest environmental issues that we are facing. Zoos are an amazing way to do that and inspire children and adults alike to care more about biodiversity loss. Overall, this shows that zoos play a crucial role in educating the public and inspiring behavior, overall helping conservation a lot. Next, I will discuss another very important use case for zoos: research. Zoos allow scientists to observe animals that are too rare or too endangered in nature. When these animals are in a captive environment, studying these animals and learning all the information about them becomes a lot easier. Scientists can learn more about their ideal conditions and habitats. This information can be important for endangered species and help scientists know how to help animals in the wild thrive. It's also just important to be able to observe animals to further understand the subject of biology as a whole and expand human knowledge. This demonstrates why zoos are an essential research institution that helps scientists better understand and protect animal species. This leads me to my final point: conservation. According to the IUCN, an organization that tracks species threatened with extinction, 81 different species are currently extinct in the wild. These species only have living members in captivity, and many of them are at zoos. Zoos are the one thing keeping many of these species alive, and if zoos were abolished, they would be completely extinct. Some examples of animals kept alive exclusively in captivity are the Pear's David deer and the Spix's macaw. Zoos are not only important for protecting species that are extinct in the wild, but also for helping endangered species. An article by the Endangered Species Coalition says that zoos' breeding programs increase populations of endangered species and focus on preserving genetic diversity and reintroducing animals into the wild. This shows another great function of zoos: they can help rehabilitate endangered species. Zoos are great at helping endangered species in the wild populations grow, both just in numbers and in diversity. Altogether, this proves that zoos are a vital tool in preventing the extinction of species and helping those that are endangered recover worldwide. Now that I've explained the benefits of zoos, I want to address a major criticism of them. Many people argue against zoos due to zoochosis. Zoochosis is the idea that animals in captivity experience extremely negative psychological effects. These can include things like repetitive pacing and swaying, plucking their own feathers or fur out, or other forms of self-harm. This is one of the main reasons why people disagree with zoos as institutions. However, zoochosis is not based on any experimental scientific evidence. Many claims surrounding it are exaggerated by unreliable sources, such as PETA, but the truth is much more nuanced than animals immediately going insane in captivity. Without any empirical evidence, this idea has little legs to stand on. However, animals can indeed get some level of stress in captivity, but there are ways to reduce the stress. A journal from ResearchGate notes environmental enrichment is a technique that may reduce the stress of non-human animals in captivity. Using the technique of enrichment, animals can have reduced stress entirely. To summarize, zoos are extremely important institutions. They serve to educate the public, advance scientific knowledge, and help conserve at-risk animals. As well, the main criticism against zoos has very little scientific evidence. My purpose today has been to convince you why zoos are important and should not be abolished. So next time you visit a zoo, remember that the care and protection of those animals receive is only possible because of the zoo. Thank you.